Hey there. As per usual, it's been a long ass time. Apologies if you hear my roommate in the background. He's in voice chat with a friend playing games. Regardless, so the title probably gives it away. Schizoaffective was not the correct diagnosis. As to what is, I don't know. So the situation is, I got that diagnosis from someone who is a student who apparently was not supposed to be diagnosing anybody with anything. So it was formally illegitimate, as well as just like practically speaking, that's just not what I have. Um, so the thing is, I do have psychotic symptoms. That's been established. My last counseling appointment, which was only yesterday, God, it was only yesterday morning. It feels like a week ago now. Was all about that. Essentially, I was asking for confirmation of the fact that I have psychotic symptoms because I don't trust myself. Um, I know that my experience of reality is somehow off, and I regard myself as an unreliable narrator. Um, and I'm like suspicious of myself too. I have undue paranoia that I have bad intentions. It's hard to explain, but regardless, I've been hoping for external validation on the fact that I'm having psychotic symptoms because I just have this tendency to doubt myself and to think that I'm being over dramatic and playing things up. Uh, so between my case manager, the person who actually manages my meds, who is a nurse practitioner, not actually a doctor, and then my therapist, three separate people, uh, I have psychotic symptoms. As to what specific condition I have, no one's put a real label on anything beyond, the student mistakenly giving me schizoaffective when she wasn't supposed to tell me shit in regards to that. I still think schizotypal. My therapist brought up the possibility of depression with psychotic features. Um, Sorry. I hear my roommate about to leave. Okay, he's gone. If he was about to leave, that means he had his headphones off, which means he could hear me. And I'm really embarrassed for some reason. I don't know why I wouldn't share this stuff with him, but like, I'm willing to post it. I don't know. I'm weird about stuff like that. But as we're finding out, my brain just works funny. So, uh, not a huge surprise. Um, yeah, so I don't know. It's been a lot to come to terms with. I didn't think that depression with psychotic features could be an answer purely because it just seemed more severe than what I have, which is also why schizoaffective just doesn't seem like a real answer. Because like, I don't know. I don't have real visual hallucinations, like hardcore shit. I just get like flies in my visual field, even in contexts where there could not possibly be any flies. Like middle of winter, snow everywhere. I live in fucking Northeast Indiana. It'll be like 20 degrees outside and everything piled up with snow, and I'll still see flies. Um, Camera flashes, I call them. They're just like little pops of light in my visual field. They don't actually cast any light on anything around them. So that's how I know that nothing's actually flashing. Beyond just the fact that there would be nothing that would, like there's not actually a camera there, but there's just like a of light somewhere in my visual field at random sometimes. Um as far as visual goes, that's the most I get. And as far as audio hallucinations go, it's not even really hallucinations so much as just distortions. Like music pitches up and down at random for me as I'm listening. And I don't know, sometimes it sounds like dogs barking or sirens or something in the music, and I'll like turn it off, and like obviously those sounds aren't really happening, and I'll turn it back on, and yet I don't hear it again. It was only kind of temporarily there. I can go back to that part of the track and play it again, and I won't hear it again. I don't know. It's weird. Scrolling patterns in like grass and certain like patterns of rugs or wallpaper or whatever. It just looks like it's like moving, like just kind of moving along rather than I don't know. Some things kind of vibrate, especially in my peripheral vision. I get a lot of like shaking objects. Um, but that's it. Like I don't get like voices telling me shit, and I've never seen like straight up people or shadow people or anything like that. Monsters, nothing of the sort. Only in my nightmares, thankfully, which have not yet bled over into real life. I suppose there's a possibility that I could be in the prodromal phase of schizophrenia, but I doubt it. And I think I'll just call them my care team, the three people I've already mentioned. I think they doubt it as well. They've been very complimentary on my degree of insight. And I asked my case manager, I was like, if it was the prodromal phase of schizophrenia and things are about to escalate, will I lose my insight? And she seemed to think no. And also my therapist told me to Google CBT for psychosis, and the studies that I could find there seemed pretty helpful. They were like, oh, it's effective in preventing first episode psychosis and blah blah blah. So I don't know. Things might be okay. Ultimately, even if it is worse than I'm hoping for, I don't like to say it because I feel like I'm just patting myself on the back like a fucking douchebag, but I'm fairly resilient. Um, and I think I can find ways to cope. And I have a lot of trust in my care team as well. Um, I feel like my therapist that I've been seeing is the best that I've ever seen, which I've seen several over the course of my life. So that's saying something. Um, this summer, though, the residency program that she's working under is going to close, and she's going back to fucking Colorado. So I have limited time there, but in the meantime, until then, I feel like I have a very competent and talented therapist, and the guy who manages my meds seems at least to listen to me. I've only seen him once so far. Um, I have an appointment to increase my Abilify, so we're gonna see how that goes. It's the second time I've gotten a dosage increase, but I mean the first time it was only from 2 milligrams to five. So I don't know what they're gonna put it at next, but I mean the whole point of the appointment was like we need to treat me as more of a psychotic patient than a depressed patient. So I don't know where I'm gonna end up in terms of my dosage there. They're gonna give me like fucking injections or something. I don't know. Um, I'll burn that bridge when I get to it, I guess. Uh, um, I don't have a whole lot else to say. It's been fucking hard. I'll tell you that much. Especially being in school part time and working full time. I'm not doing well in my classes, I gotta admit. I have a whole bunch of homework that I'm supposed to be doing this weekend. It's Saturday night. I haven't fucking looked at it at all. Um, it's the goddamn workplace communications class, and it's a bunch of group projects. And for those of you that don't know, people on the psychotic spectrum don't really do great socially. Um, so this class full of group projects that are all about workplace communication, my dumbass that has only ever once held a job for a year at least, uh, and slightly crazy. It's a struggle. I hate that class. I really do. There was one time like he made us split up into groups and we were supposed to talk about. He was showing us news videos of fucking Zelensky arguing with Donald Trump and JD Vance. I didn't want to see that shit because I knew it would piss me off. Like as soon as it hit the news, like I didn't want to see the fucking clips because I knew it would bother me. So we're sitting here and we're watching this as much as I don't fucking want to, and I'm getting pissed off. And then he has us split off into groups to talk about it. And I swear I'm the oldest motherfucker in that class because I'm 30 now. Everybody else is a bunch of goddamn Zoomers. No offense, Zoomers, but I find it hard to relate to you guys in a lot of ways. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, but I just do. Y'all are kind of aliens to me a little bit. I'm sorry, but it is. That's the way it is. Um, so I'm split off in this group with a bunch of Zoomers, and I didn't talk. I didn't say a fucking word. And then he looks over at me and he's like, "Is everything all right over there?" Like looking directly at me. I couldn't even look at him. And I still didn't say a word. I silently just looked at the board at the front of the class and just waited for the moment to pass. It was so embarrassing and so awkward. I hate that fucking class. But if I don't do my fucking homework this weekend, I'm gonna fail that shit. Um, I think that's my main frustration with the fact that my therapist is like kind of resistant to the idea of giving me a formal diagnosis, even though like at this point we've been seeing each other weekly since at least November. Uh, so I feel like she should know enough about my case to be able to make that call, but she doesn't want to. My roommate's back. And I think what bothers me so much about that is like I would really like to request accommodations in some certain circumstances. Like especially to request to not be in fucking groups anymore, fucking workplace calm would be nice. Um Certain scenarios at work, at various jobs I've had. Um I don't know. There are times when I feel like I could benefit from having something on paper that I could show to somebody and be like, "See, look, motherfucker, I got problems and I can't do this." Um, I don't know. Is that a cop out? Is that just me being weak? Maybe, probably. That's a habit of mine that I hate about myself, but I don't know, man. It's just hard. It's really hard, and I wish people had more mercy in general. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm just having a pity party. Never mind me. I'm a fucking idiot. And I should just shut up and grow thicker skin, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to think. It still feels like I'm at the very beginning of figuring all this shit out. Uh, as much as they may compliment my insight, it feels like I've had insight for like a couple of months now. I don't know. It's really hard because I can look back at a lot of shit earlier in my life and realize that it's like related to what I'm going through now. Um, it's just really embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. So many times I've embarrassed myself acting just totally crazy in public and having no idea that I was doing it. Like just thinking that my behavior was within the spectrum of normal when it clearly wasn't. Um, and I'm just now learning that as a 30-year-old fucking man, looking back on all that shit. Ugh, it would be easier not. Sometimes I feel like it would be easier not to have so much insight as I do. Not that I'm like trying to compliment myself or anything, but ignorance truly is bliss. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, that's a hell of a parable or idiom, I suppose, is more accurate. Um, I don't know. I don't have much else to say. I'm still working. I'm still in school for now. We'll see how my fucking classes go. Um, I'm not getting a hell of a lot of sleep, which aggravates my condition. It's never good for you in any way to be low on sleep, but I'm working full time, going to school part time, and trying to keep my weight down after a lifetime of being morbidly obese. Um, well, partial lifetime. Again, I'm 30. Um, yeah, yeah, it's a lot. I've got a lot on my plate. Um, and now dealing with whatever fucking psychotic condition I apparently have. Because it's like a lot of this stuff only started like last year. Or lately I've been getting delusions. Not maybe it's not delusions, maybe it's more like ideas. I don't know. Here's the thing. One of the reasons I suspect schizotypal is that I get this thing called ideas of reference, where it's like you get suspicions that things are about you, but you can still be reasoned with. Like, say, for example, you see, I'll tell you one that I had the other day. I was watching a YouTube video and it was like a book review about horror books, but like one of them had a lot of like child abuse and relationship abuse themes. And the guy was like, if you've been through such and such experiences, this will speak to you. And for a moment, I thought the video was about me, specifically me. Like, this guy was trying to send me a message and that he had posted the video so that I would see it and receive his message. Now, of course, I realized even as I had that thought, I was like, what the fuck? This guy has no idea who you are. The fact that I realized that with no prompting makes it an idea of reference. If I had believed it and no one could talk me out of it, it would be a delusion of reference. So there's another one called thought broadcasting, which is a concept where you are convinced or at least suspicious in my case that people around you hear what you're thinking or that someone specific can hear what you're thinking. And I've never had any thoughts like that before until like the past year or so. And it's been escalating lately at work now. It used to be like there was a specific person that I had it about because like there was an experience I had as a teenager where this one person seemingly read my mind and like I don't know, it was pretty convincing. It was a very specific set of circumstances that it would have been hard for her to just guess at. We'll put it that way. But regardless, even that I brushed off all of my life until like last year. It started to like really sit in my brain, and I would like, this is embarrassing, but I would like talk to her in my head, like, because I would think about it because it creeped me out so bad. I would just think about it because it creeped me out, the idea that she could get into my head. But then when I would think about it, I'd be like, oh God, does she know that I'm thinking about it? Like, am I bothering her right now? And I would start like apologizing to her in my head. Like, I'm so sorry I'm bothering you. I have a condition that makes me obsessed with this stuff and it just really freaks me out. I'm sorry we ever met. Like, all of that going on in my head, like basically daily for a while. And then that started to fade a bit, but now at work, I'm worried that people like in close proximity to me can hear me as I'm thinking, not as I'm speaking out loud. That's thought broadcasting. But of course, I know that that's crazy. Uh, so it's not like a delusion of thought broadcasting as much as it's like an idea of thought broadcasting. I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. I've got problems. I've got fucking problems, man. Um yeah, so all of that shit, it's very recent stuff that it seems to be, or like the music pitching up and down as I'm listening to it is getting more frequent where it's almost constant now. The flies are new, shit like that. So I don't know. In some ways, it seems like it's like progressing, but at the same time, I feel like I'm making progress in therapy, and I still seem to have insight. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where this is going. If it's going anywhere, or if it's just gonna be stable like this for the rest of my life, or if maybe one day I'll like get better or something. I don't know. I have no fucking idea. And it's uncomfortable to be in this state of not knowing fucking anything. And I think that's part of, one of the reasons why I am so interested in the idea of a formal diagnosis. It's just because I want to feel like I know something about how this is going to play out. Regardless, I feel like I've rambled on long enough. Um, I will spare you the unfortunate continued exposure to my visage, um, and I will let you go. So it's been fucking real, everybody. I don't know. I was gonna do like a quirky sign off or something, but now I'm feeling embarrassed. So fuck that and fuck you. No, I'm kidding. Bye.